Hello out to all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And I get to talk about Microsoft acquiring Activision-Blizzard as they build their coffers of franchises. Now, people who are thinking that all of Activision Blizzard stuff is just suddenly going to be exclusive to Microsoft or Xbox, you've lost your fucking mind. That's not likely to happen, because if that was the case, then Minecraft wouldn't have made it to all those other platforms that it did. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp, as well as Cuphead, wouldn't have been on multiple platforms. Just look, it's just not how it's going to go. We understand this right now. They are acquiring a bunch of shit, which can be a bad thing because they acquire too much in the gaming industry. They would become essentially a gaming monopoly. There are going to be some holdouts, luckily, and I hope that remains to be seen. But yeah, there's a lot that they're doing right now. Now, I do have a particular theory about why they are purchasing so many different companies and studios, and this would be good for Activision Blizzard if Microsoft cleans out their upper management. If they clean out their upper management and they put in some people who actually will listen to their staff and actually help their staff and develop their staff properly, that could be a good thing for Activision Blizzard in the long run. But I'm starting to get vibes that Microsoft has a different game plan than a lot of people are thinking about. Like, for instance, why are you buying up all these studios, especially studios that you know put their software on multiple different platforms? And you're not making a butt ton of that stuff exclusive to you. I mean, there's a couple things, but not a lot. And so it makes me wonder if maybe, just maybe, Microsoft is doing the thing that everybody says Nintendo should do, and Microsoft is positioning themselves to move into being a massive third-party company in gaming. And it's something that they could do right now and still be profitable, and they could still release their own hardware. Someone's going to be like, why would they do that? That's nonsensical. Why would they make the move like that? Because it's something that other companies have done before. Prime example is SNK with Neo Geo. And weird thing is, a lot of people don't realize that Neo Geo and SNK were the same company. But yeah, SNK had their own platform for their games, but they also were third party for other platforms. And it's something that Microsoft could do and be highly successful at because they've got all the resources to do it. Whereas SNK didn't have all the resources to do it at the time, and their hardware was extremely expensive in comparison to everything else that was out on the market. So at current, Microsoft could do it and pull it off and be successful at it because they have the resources to balance it out. Especially if they're going to be making a bunch of money from the third-party sales of games on other platforms. They have the opportunity to do this. They can do this. They could do this and pull it off. And several other companies have tried to do it and just not been able to. So I see them, they've already established a big position in the gaming industry. They're a major platform for people. They could still do this. They could have all of their software be available across all of the versions of their platforms that you can potentially get, and still make newer iterations of hardware and still be third party on other platforms. It would be a smart strategy, because then at that point, no matter what console platform is the one that sells the best or leads the industry at the moment, you can still sell your stuff on that platform and make a shit ton of money if you know what you're doing. And I think that that's the route that Microsoft is going, which is actually pretty smart for the position that they're in. They've already decided that they're going to give you pretty much everything on PC and on all of the different Xbox consoles out there. They've even got stuff on both Sony and Nintendo's platforms already. They've already started working on developing themselves into having a mobile identity. All they have to do at this point is say, hey, guess what? We're moving our stuff across the board to every platform, and just understand which games that they have will work better on different platforms depending on the marketing. Super Lucky's Tale was exclusive to Microsoft at first. Then it moved over to the Nintendo Switch. I actually think it's also on the PS4. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But it's also on the Switch. Which makes sense. So, at least in my eyes, they're positioning themselves to be the third party to the other platforms, as well as having their own first party stuff. I don't think Microsoft is planning on keeping a bunch of their exclusives. Now, me personally, I think that could be harmful to them in the long run to not keep their exclusives exclusive. But at the same time, if they could put their stuff on other platforms and make a crap ton of money off of it, they're going to. They're essentially moving themselves from being focused on the hardware and being pretty much focused on only the software, which would allow them to be able to be a massive third party when it comes down to Nintendo and Sony, but still be first party when it comes to themselves and their own platforms. Again, it's just an observation. They could stand to make a bunch of money, and this could also stand to be a good thing for the Xbox division, which we do know historically hasn't made much money. Now, Game Pass and Gold and all that stuff is helping because it's bringing in a lot more money and people are subscribing to it on a regular basis. But historically speaking, Xbox division of Microsoft has not been a big boon of cash for Microsoft. They've actually had to pour more money into it from their other entities in order to keep it afloat for a good long time. And they're starting to turn it around to make it something I think would be regularly profitable. And that's the most important thing to them. That's going to be the most important thing to their shareholders, is that they're making money. And this purchase of Activision-Blizzard, if they can clean up the culture of the company, and on top of that, they can have good products coming out, I could see them making themselves a massive third-party conglomerate for gaming. Now, if somebody's going to try to attempt to take that other spot as a major console player, that remains to be seen. But at current, Microsoft stands to make a shit ton of money. Now, there were other companies that could have potentially done something like this, but they didn't. Microsoft beat them all to the punch. So, hey. But we'll see what comes of it in the future and how they're going to move things going forward. Right now, just my observation, that's what I'm getting, is that they're planning to move themselves into being a massive third-party owner for different software and to sell their stuff on every platform available. That doesn't mean everything is going to be on every platform, but it does mean that there's more opportunity for everything to be on every platform across the board, especially if they keep being more and more friendly with their competitors. Again, it's just some stuff to think about, something to noodle over and consider and take a second guess at least from my perspective. But I'm done, so thank you guys very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me, and until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody.